What is going on, true believers? The U.S. courts have ordered the SEC to explain why it's acting like a little baby when it comes to Coinbase's request for crypto-specific rules. Now, the answer to that is obviously, Gary Gensler says, we think that the existing regulations and laws are sufficient in order to manage this whole process, and we don't think that there's any kind of need for any additional rules. That's what he's gone on record as saying. And then, in fact, when it comes down to the moment that matters, and that is to say, when these decisions are being made, then the courts have largely sided with the SEC, providing deference to the federal government. Well, now we've got a situation in which that is no longer the case, or does not appear to be the case. It looks like we're getting into a moment in time where all of these things are being openly questioned by the courts. So we've got a radical change in this Coinbase lawsuit, and super awesome. By the way, my full take profit got triggered on my long position, so we're going to be looking for a new entry into it, and we're going to turn that into, it's at about $1,000 right now. So we're going to try $1,000 to $1 million challenge. We're going to do 1,000 to 100,000 for right now. So I'm gonna we're going to set ourselves a position, and we're going to see how it plays out. We're going to keep track of it. We're going to figure out how it goes, but we've got about $1,000 right now. So buckle up, put on your safety harness, do whatever it is so that you're real comfortable, because we're going to go over that and more. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
By the way, goobers, guess what? I have a new design for hoodies. So in the event that you're not broke, then why don't you go to the links down, I want to say below, but I'm pretty sure that it's below. And why don't you get a hoodie or something? Because cold check it, dog. And this is on the serious tip, and I'm just being for real with you. So I made a new design. This is the Believes Crypto new hoodie design. You can see the Chi-Town, Chicago in the background. And of course, there's a bunch of different colors that you can go for. So I would recommend, like, Jesus Christ, like, get your shit together. Like, you don't have a Believes t-shirt. Like, what are you, a nerd? Broke? Like, come on. And by the way, there are some Chicago Bears colors in here if you are interested in doing that Chicago Bears thing. So yeah, we've got the Believes Crypto shirts available for you now. Fat guy not included. Fat guy not included. So yeah, you certainly go check that out. Again, unless you're broke. And if you are, maybe we'll do a giveaway at some point soon and give away a hoodie or 2 or 3 or 4. These Believes cryptos are still available as well. So U.S. court orders the SEC to explain why it denied Coinbase's request for crypto-specific rules. So this is very, very interesting. Actually, the SEC must explain why it denied Coinbase's petition for specific rules for crypto. The U.S. Court of Appeals from the Third Circuit said in an opinion posted on Monday. The court called the SEC's decision to ignore their request for crypto-specific rulemaking as arbitrary and capricious. And by the way, that's the same thing that's been said over and over again. At the same time, the court did not require the SEC to actually draft these rules. They don't want to see what the rules are. They just want to see why they ignored a request. And let's go back and remember something, which I don't know that everybody is paying attention to. In multiple conversations, I was going to say mutual, but it's actually multiple. In multiple conversations that were held, one of the weird things that was happening with the conversations that were going between Coinbase and the SEC, Coinbase said that time and time again, they tried to meet with the SEC, and the SEC would not meet with them, would not provide them guidance for the crypto industry, wouldn't do anything to try to help them. But at the same time, remember Ponyboy and that Gemini, whatever stupid crypto company that they have that actually had, like, in the meantime, they were getting all the help that they needed in order to launch a crypto exchange that nobody can buy crypto on because everything is a security, according to the SEC. So we are being, basically what was happening was you were being gaslit here, it looks like, by the SEC. So a very, very weird sort of thing that was going on. Now, because we believe the SEC's order was conclusory and insufficiently reasoned and thus arbitrary and capricious, we grant Coinbase's petition in part and remand to the SEC for a more complete explanation. But we decline at this stage to order the agency to institute rulemaking proceedings. Coinbase and the SEC have argued for years over the need for rulemaking. The San Francisco-based exchange first asked the SEC to provide guidance for the crypto industry in July of 2022. The securities watchdog, which allowed Coinbase to go public via direct listing in 2021, sued the exchange about 2 years later for allegedly violating securities laws. Now, why did they approve? The question was, why did they approve them if they were in violation of security laws? Isn't the SEC just endangering people, investors, by allowing that to happen? And the SEC said, oh, no. We just approved them based on the paperwork that they submitted. What they do afterwards is where we get them. So before the SEC brought its lawsuit against Coinbase, the exchange attempted to force the agency to respond to its rulemaking petition and sued the SEC in April of 2023. The SEC later denied the request for new rules, and SEC Chair Gary Gensler said that existing rules already apply to crypto. Gensler also said at the time that an important part of the SEC's responsibility is figuring out how to divvy resources. He emphasized that the crypto market is small compared to the rest of the capital market, which the agency oversees. On that last point, the court said more explanation was needed. But resource allocation is not a talisman that an agency may evoke to escape judicial review. It is one explanation for agency inaction among many. It is an explanation entitled to a high level of deference, to be sure, but like any other explanation for agency action, it must be sufficiently reasoned. However, the appeals court said it was unpersuaded by Coinbase's assertion that notice and comment rulemaking, a process that allows the public to comment, was the only path for the SEC to explain the legal basis for its action. So it's going to be real interesting to see exactly what happens in this lawsuit and how this appeals court is going to allow this thing to proceed. Because, first of all, this SEC is going to be gone in a couple days. So a lot of clarity is going to come to this market very, very soon, no matter what. So we're going to see a nice change in the way that we're doing business currently. But I'm curious to see how this ends. I think that, we're probably going to see victory for Coinbase ultimately. And then I think, by the way, one of the other pieces to that, for people that don't understand what's going on, one of the other pieces to that is we will see the Ethereum ETF finally get staking. When we get staking from the Ethereum ETF, then that is going to blow up the stake. That's going to blow up the Ethereum ETFs, and the price of Ethereum will it will be on a rocket ride to the moon at that point. It would be my opinion anyway. I would think that it would just go absolutely bonkers, parabolic, out of control, nuts, and it will just start wilding out. So that's my opinion of what's getting ready to come. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. So moving on from that, here is the 1,000. We're going to do this. So we have $1,045 right now in USDT. We're not going to make the selections based on where we are right now. But what I did last night was I set a full take profit at 96,000. So the filled price ended up being 95,500. So we got a P&L on it of $415. So we now have 1,000. That was a 20x, by the way. We're going to try this with 20x's. So what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to look for entry and exit positions. And here's going to be the rules. The number one rule of this 1,000 to 1 million is I cannot go more than half on any specific crypto. So that's going to protect against a devastating occurrence. So that'll be for that'll be for the benefit, by the way. And Bitcoin will be the primary vehicle by which we're going to try to do this. There will be some other ones that we're going to go into, like we'll put $100 into specific ones, and then we're just going to see how this goes. If we are granted or given free money from KCEX in terms of free futures money, then we will add that into this. But at the end of the day, the total equity on this, we want to be at $1 million. That's what the end goal is. Now, the reason that I decided to do this was because when I looked at it and I saw that most likely, we haven't seen the low at this point. You can see in my entry positions, by the way, in the green right there. So what I'm thinking is that, I think we're going to come back down again. I think we're going to get an opportunity to visit 89,000 one more time. I would be nervous to say that this move is going to continue. What I think is happening right now is this right here. Like, I think that we're in the spot right now where we're minting these lower highs. So I could see this thing coming up to around 99 to 100,000 over the next few hours, maybe even, and then start to dip down back into this range one more time. Because if you look at the bottom of it, then you can see here that, it really looks like we're just creating this little wedge pattern. So if we get back to the bottom of that wedge, which, by the way, that wedge pattern takes us all the way down to the futures gap. If we bounce around into this range one last time and get into that 87 to 89 sort of range, then we're going to go long with half. And we're going to do the other half in we're going to do 25% in Solana, 25% in Ethereum, and then we're just going to set it, forget it, and see how it runs, and then see if it doesn't run up to 120,000 or something like that. That's the goal. That's the idea. So that's what we're going to do. So that's just to keep you informed about what could be happening over the next little while. So in the meantime, Bitcoin rebounds above 96,000 amid global stock gains as investors focus on key U.S. inflation data. And what are they focusing on? The cryptocurrency market capitalization has increased around 3.5% for the past 24 hours. The rebound in major cryptocurrencies coincides with modest gains in global market as traders position ahead of the first two crucial inflation readings this week. On Tuesday, PPI, a key measure of wholesale inflation. So what happened with PPI? PPI shows wholesale inflation increased less than expected in December. Bitcoin holds near 96,000 as data shows slower produce price growth. So what we're looking for in this is we're looking for prices to start weighing down, and we're looking for decline in prices, right? Well, or we cool down the inflation number. And so far from today's morning numbers, then we're looking better. So Tuesday's report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show that its producer price index, which tracks the price changes companies see, rose 3.6 or 3.3% below the 3.5 that was projected. On a monthly basis, prices increased 0.2, below the 0.4 increase economists had expected, including food and energy. Core prices rose 3.5% year over year above November's gain. Economists had expected an increase of 3.8 because it's Christmas and people get gouged during that period of time. Month over month core prices were unchanged, however. So even though we've seen some reason to question whether or not the government can still continue to reduce the Fed rate, we're seeing data coming out right now, which is allowing them to start looking at it and pricing it in for some more cuts. So that's what you're probably going to see over the next little while. And in fact, Dow Jones up almost 200 points to start off the day. Bitcoin crypto is up 77 billion on the day, now up to 78 billion. So you're seeing a surge right now in the price, which is a good thing. And will this kick everything off? Well, the answer to that is no. This is just the first of a couple of things that are going on for the day. This is the PPI. This is the first domino to fall. Tomorrow, we're going to get the core inflation, with the forecast being 3.3. So inflation year over year, 2.9, 2.7. Then we have retail sales, and then we've got the housing starts. So tomorrow is going to be the big day right there to look at where the inflation is. Now, if the inflation comes in at 3% or something like that, then it's going to mean that we're getting, again, like real close to our target number of 2%, which means that they would be inclined maybe to continue some rate cuts in the event that that happens. Now, the question would be, are the numbers sufficient for that? And if it does, then if we get a rate cut, if we get that look right there where the pause just seems silly at this point, if something radical happens, then we're talking about $125,000 Bitcoin, like in a moment's notice. Like we're going to see a major surge. Now, I would expect to see a dump going into it. So whatever's happening right here, don't look for a big move, or at least don't look for a gigantic move to happen, because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And the only way that there's some certainty and clarity would be a leak, which I don't think is going to happen. So there's going to be a lot of bets being placed right now on what happens next. As far as ETF flows go, we had negative outflows again for both of them, not as robust as they were before. They're lower outflows, which means that we're about to see some big inflows starting back up. But both the ETFs are still looking pretty good overall in gains. Now, the Fed target for federal interest, the target interest rate range remains at 4.25 to 4.5. Fed funds futures suggest a high probability that rates will stay unchanged at the meeting later this month. It's going to be like January 27, something like that, or January 26 when they meet. So markets also project a high chance of rates holding steady through March and May. Only in July does the probability begin to materialize at just over 41%. Now, if something changes, and if we see we see these numbers continue to decline, and really a lot of this comes down to your gas prices. Remember that gas prices are the predicator of your overall prices predominantly. We know this is a capitalist society. Gouging Americans is the American way in our society. So expect to see yourself getting price gouged, but that's not really the point or the reason. The point or the reason for decline in price is going to ultimately be petroleum cost. So in the event that we start to see gas prices go down, we start to look. And by the way, I'm not, when Donald Trump says just drill, baby, drill, and more oil and blah, 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 blah. We're already producing enough oil that we don't need to buy oil overseas. That doesn't fix anything. That doesn't do anything. At best, it creates a glut in the market. And if it creates a glut in the market and makes the price go down, okay, I'll take it. I mean, ultimately I'll take it. But we're not selling out the oil that we have right now in the markets. So it's going to be difficult for prices to come down too much from there without going directly after the profit motive and profit margin, which I don't think that Republicans and certainly no Democrats, but Republicans are not going to have a thirst for that either. At least not enough of them are going to have a thirst for that. So it's going to be difficult to get prices going down even more, but you never know, because in 6 days now, there is a real possibility that there's some executive orders that come out right now that super and turbocharge a few of these markets. And if they do, all bets are off. You never really know what's going to end up happening. And to be fair, the media pretty loud right now. Donald Trump, not so loud. He's not out here doing wild stuff. He's not out here with the news being in a state of panic. So this time is different. And I think this time is more about governance and just accepting that this is what the American people want. So I'm certainly interested to see how this plays out. I do think that there's going to be a surge coming very, very soon, though. And I do think that might mean that they are going to have to reduce rates coming up very, very soon. Now, as far as bubble maps goes, in the top 100, you'll notice that Fartcoin is now in the top 100, which is just bonkers to me. But here we are. BitGet still pumping. This is on the, you know what? Let me go to the daily here. I can see Fartcoin is up 37%. That's wild. Bitcoin's up 5%, AI 16%. In the 200, 100 to 200, you've got Deep, Checks, AXI, AIXBT up 58%, the big gainer for the day. In the 200 to 300 market, you've got AVA as the number one gainer, Zerebro, Cpool, Heart, UFD, that's Unicorn Fart Dust. And then right here in our little range, this is the DevvE range, I want to say. It looks like DevvE is not here. Pippin down 28%. So DevvE might have gone to the 400 to 500 range. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's at number 397. So somewhere in here is DevvE for the day. Oh, you know what? It might be actually up for the day. Might just be down for the 48-hour period. I don't know. I don't see it. Anybody else see it? That's not it. That's not it. These little bitty ones are not it. Oh, there it is. 4.6%, up 4.6%. There we go. So, why we not ever talk about SUI? Because I'm not invested in it, because I missed the boat on SUI, and that hurts me deep down inside. Also, because I just got liquidated on a long on their position, and we're not talking about it too much because to me, we will talk about some of these. We will talk about some of this stuff, but if it's already got a gigantic market cap, right? What's the purpose? Like, what I want right now is I want you guys to get rich. I don't want you guys to get like more money. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we talk about DevvE. DevvE, in my opinion, will make you rich. MSI, by the way, MSI pumping today. MSI will make you rich. There's a bunch of these that are going to make you rich. Here's the thing. When you look at it, ultimately, SUI is already at number 12 overall at a 14 billion market cap. If you got in a long time ago and you rode it all the way up here, if you're in this 2024 early part right here where the price was 69 cents, or if you were over here when it was 44 cents, when Cassie was talking about it originally, you're up 10x right now, and you're feeling that big move. Like, you've already gotten a gigantic gain out of it, but that also puts you at a $14 billion market cap and puts you into the top 12. So how much higher will it end up going? Maybe another 8x to 100 billion. But look, Solana's been around for a lot longer and has a lot more stuff on it. And I just don't feel like SUI is going to have that big move or it already had that gigantic move, that's the reason that we don't really talk too much about it. It's already had its big move. So T8 on Dyplus. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Is this from a year ago? All right. So if this is supported, and all right, so without saying whether it is supported or not, okay, if this is supported and there is actually somebody at the wheel, then I think this thing is going to go up 15, 20x. I think we're at least going to see a big move up into this range right here, somewhere around 28, 29, 30 cents. If that is the case and there are still people working on it, Dyplus is Welcome to the Future is a powered, decentralized ecosystem that faces the future, a new era with special focus on scalability, security, and global adoption, powered by a next-gen infrastructure through our strong foundation and much more. They just didn't tell me anything, by the way. They didn't tell me anything in that. An innovative platform that redefines the gaming industry by implementing cutting-edge technology. Users will get access to an immersive experience. All right, let's just see what this is. All right, so we're going to get that right. Shaping the future of gaming DeFi. Get WAD, stake WAD. Okay, World of Dypians. Embark on a new era of game. Huh. Okay, I might be interested in this. Now, look, ultimately, I don't think that there's too much of a world in which... well, this is interesting, certainly, as games go. Yeah, and this is certainly an interesting opportunity. I will check it out. Then that's not then. Okay, so this one's at 2.6. So Dyplus at 26. So there is nothing. I don't see anything there. I see 2. All right, with that spelling, it's 2.6. It's 2.3 cents. All right. Let's try this. That's the old one. Yeah, so there's an old one and there's a new one. If you click on that one at 26 cents, it's migrated to a new one, which is at 2.3. So you're looking at the old one, and the new one was launched about a year ago. That's the reason. So I would say it's going to 26 cents, but I think that the market's going to have to do something first. Like, I think that the market is going to have to really start to soar to see the breakout that you're looking for on it. But I mean, ultimately, if the game is good, by the way, if you like the game, it's going to take me a while. I'm going to get it. Might as well. Let's see what happens here. All right, so all right, so I got the game. I'll test the game out, and I'll let you know what I think of the game. So anyway, now it's time for MSI. If you haven't already, get yourself a little bit of MSI. Just paid for some Nitro on Dex Tools. So MSI is, by the way, if you look at it over here, it's colored up here because it's on Nitro right now, which means that it will probably show up as trending during the course of the day. It's up 36.8% to 48. Had a nice little bounce off of this bottom here. The question, of course, is this bottom the bottom? And are we in that upward motion? And do we get that? I mean, the most likely scenario here would be this right here, and then a cup and handle play out coming into the 6 or 7 range. If something like that were to happen, then you would be looking at a huge move as the next move, assuming this is the bottom, of course, to the top of the cup right here, and then over here. So you'd be looking at dropping a 0 and going to a penny in the event that this actually plays out. So, there could be an opportunity, by the way. And there is also, if you did not know, let me pull this up here and boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Okay. This is a pre-sale sponsored by MSI. And it's called Presale Goes January 17th. The website is memelinked.io. So if you are looking for something to jump into, a DeFi project on Ethereum, part of the Monkey Soul Inu ecosystem where memes meet social media. So this is going to be the official contract address. This is all of the socials and everything like that. And then this is going to be where you join the presale. So in the event that you do, then there's a good opportunity. It's memelinked.io. Also, it I'm sure will be on ticker trending as part of the ecosystem. Again, the big one for the day is DeCat. MSI not in the top 10 right now for trending, but up 27% on the day. LFGO, by the way, is in the top 10 right now. And it's trending as well over here, up 23%. So, and if you want to buy some MSI, you can go buy it over here again at tickertrending.com, ticker MSI. So get yourself a bag of MSI. Don't be left in the dark. If you want coins, check coins, then good morning. That's it. Just good morning. So if you don't have any right now, be a great opportunity to accumulate. I do think that it's going to have another breakout pretty soon. Reason that I do think that, by the way, is we're talking about 247,000 market cap. It's holding up very well above this trend line. So it's bouncing off of the top over here. And now that means that it's going to be, if it does fully hold this position, then that means it'll be holding a new high, a much higher floor than it had previously. If it holds this floor, and then we get what I think is going to happen here, which is Solana exploding in price, going up to like 200, going up to 260, and then on to 400, which I think is inevitable. Then the CC coin is going to do the same thing, because if you're talking about a 200% increase or 100% increase on Solana, you're talking about the same kind of thing happening over here on these meme coins. So if Solana breaks out, which I do think it's going to break out, but if Solana breaks out, then the next step is going to be boom, for this thing to absolutely take off. And if it absolutely takes off, then, this was going to be a big move. Now, the ultimate rate right here is 307. 307 right now is about a 3x away. And that's, by the way, that's not an area where I would be talking about, well, cash out right now because life has changed for you. That's not what I'm saying here, by the way. That's just the golden ratio right now sitting at 1.618 off of the last impulse move. Now, if I were to come out and look at this whole thing for a much longer period of time, then the number changes even more dramatically. We can take that off, and then we can say, well, from here to here, boom, boom, to the move is to 201. So 201 is about a 4x away from where it is right now. 4x away from where it is right now would be $1 million market cap. And then a 10x from there to a penny would be a $10 million market cap. Now, here's what I would say to that. I would say you should ink in a $10 million market cap because it's CoinsCheck. You should lock in a 10 million market cap and adjust for that. That's about a 40x. So I would say that it would be, in my opinion, a safe bet that you will see CoinsCheck at least 10 million market cap, 40x away from where it is right now. Now, what I want to say is 20 million market cap, because 20 million market cap is kind of the paradigm. So a 20 million market cap would also be kind of like right there in that realm. And that would be about an 80x from where we are right now. So I think there's going to be a big move here. I think there's going to be a gigantic move here, and it'll be life-changing for a few people. Most of the people that held on since the beginning, by the way. But some new ones are going to be coming in. New investors are going to be coming in soon. Remember, it continues to add new investors. Had 620 just a couple days ago. So now it's 703. Just continues to add new holders, continues to get new people holding a floor. Floor continues to go up. It's only a matter of time before before an exchange listing comes calling. It's only a matter of time before somebody notices it on the right call channel. It's only a matter of time. And then it goes absolutely bonkers. And it goes that way because it's CoinsCheck. You know what I mean? So look for something to happen. And remember, I was the guy that told you. I was the guy. There were a lot of guys. A lot of people. None of them were me. So let's see what happens with that. And fear and greed index sitting at around every day I hit the ad 63, which means we're still cooking pretty well. The overall market here is still pumping 96.6 on Bitcoin. Again, we took our profit already. So what happens right now? Irrelevant. What is relevant though is the DevvE ecosystem. DevvE has huge technical overhang in terms of capacity capability, and that's not even needed at this point. That's from Ray Quintana. Watch the video and discover why DevvE is at the forefront of crypto technology. This is, by the way, when he was at CES, Consumer Electronics Show. And guys, the reason that DevvE is there doing this at the Consumer Electronics Show is because there is something very big getting ready to happen. And look, I can't tell you what to buy. I can tell you what not to buy. But I'm not going to do that because I don't do that either. But look, this is the path and the journey right now that I've been on. So, guys, if you're not with me on this, then it's okay. I mean, you're just going to miss out. You're going to miss out on that gigantic move. I have a DevvE video coming out today where I tell you that you need to own 20,000 DevvE. If you own 20,000 DevvE, you're going to be a millionaire, in my opinion. I think it's going to run to $50. The next move, I think the next big impulse move is going to be to like 225 from where it is right now, which is going to be about 50%. Like, I think we're going to see a big move in that regard. And then I think we're going to see really, there's going to be some kind of announcements happening. We're at mid-month now. And by the way, in the event that no announcements are forthcoming, just to give everybody a little clarity on what I think is going to happen here. Now, in the event that there are no announcements this month of a partnership or something like that, then this is where I would be looking for retracement. All right, right there, and then ultimately right there. So in the event that we do not get the blow-off moment that I think is going to happen, consider that we'll have a floor at $1, and we'll see whether or not we can hold that floor at $1. If that does not hold, then the 200 MA is way down here. Okay, so because it's so far down and because it takes such a long time, then it would be days. So this, by the way, happens to correspond with the end of January. So the end of January, if there's no announcement, then this is what you would see. And I don't know that you would get that reversal spike. Like, you would, at least be coming down here to test 50 cents. Now, ultimately, if we come back here and test 50 cents one more time, that's your opportunity, by the way. That for me, like, if I could get 50 cents one more time on DevvE, oh my God. Like, that would be, in my opinion, I'll never tell you to go all in. Let me rephrase before I phrase. I would never tell you to go all in on anything, but I would go as all in as I would be willing to go if DevvE comes back down to 50 cents. That's what I would say. So that would mean, and it depends on what you have, like depends on what your portfolio is, but if it comes down to 50 cents, then you're talking about something that's going to go 100x to $50. So, that's a gigantic move, and it's an easy 100x. So I would put another 5 or 10 grand in just like that. Like that would be, that would be my beacon call at that point for a life-changing reversal. And I think if it did dip to 50 cents, it would probably get bought up very quickly by the whales. I don't think that it can reach 50 cents, by the way, but it would get very quickly bought up. And it would be back at $1.50 in probably short order. So, I think that would be a life-changing dip if it were to happen. So, but again, I don't know, I don't know what the announcements are or anything like that. I don't know when they're going to come. Now, as for the broader market in the 24-hour, it still looks like we got downward momentum, downward pressure, which is why I haven't re-entered any trades. I do think that there is downward momentum. I do think there is a gigantic amount at 91,000 right now. There's also a gigantic amount at 99,000 right now on the weekly. And then on the longer terms, it looks like we're motivated to head up to 103, 104. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what the next direction is, but when I look at it on the chart and kind of feeling out, what is my next move on Bitcoin if I take my impulse and I go with my impulse move here and boom to boom, and know that I'm sitting right here at that 382, that I'm wicking down into this range. And here it is, by the way, this is your Fibonacci showing up for you right here. And if I look at this from the impulse move on the Fibonacci at this point, it's telling me that I'm not done with dips yet. So remember what I said. I said, the moves that you get are going to be from the bottom, of course, to the top. And then you should get a move down here and then a rip back up here. Okay. And then a rip back down here and then a breakout back here. We've got none of that. What we got so far is a move up here, no dip down here, and then a rip back up here. So like we're consolidating in a really good spot, but that spot looks like there's a little bit more dip to it. So I would say that if you're looking to place a long position today, I would say, in my opinion, that 87,500 right there, 87,500 or 87,600, maybe even 88,000, that looks like an opportune spot to place a long. I would put one at 89,000. Then I would put one at 88,000. Same, by the way, same, so that it just adds into the same long. I would put one at 89. I would put one at 88. I would put one at 87. If one of them get triggered, awesome. If all three of them get triggered, fantastic. Then your average DCA would be about 88,000. And then I think it would rip back up here into 98,000. And that would be a gigantic win for you. So that's what I think, you should ultimately be looking for. That percentage, by the way, that's 10% on a 20X would be 200%. So we'd be talking about taking my 1,000, turning it into 3,000 or 4,000 with just that move right there from 88 to 98. So that's what I think. As a matter of fact, let's go do that right now. All right, so we're going to go into the futures, and we're going to go set ourselves a buy order on limit, and we're going to set it for 89,000. And we're going to put it for $200. We're going to open that long. And then we're going to do 88,000. And we're going to do 200 for that long. And then we're going to do 87,000. And we're going to do 200 for that long. And then we'll hold on to the rest of it and we'll see what that looks like ultimately. But we've got there we go. All right, so we're set up. Okay, so that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Let's go down the list here real quick before we go. Just give you guys an idea. MSI's up 36% on the day. LFGO's up 24% on the day. Speedy's up 21%. No One Will Know is up 10%. Trump is up 7%. I'm sorry about Trump. Like, I just keep thinking that it's going to pump and it just doesn't pump. So I don't know what to say about Trump. I think MAGA was trying to the other day start to go. And I think that if you look at DJT, then you would see that DJT was also trying to go. But the market just kind of dipped and took away any steam. Here's the thing though, because it made this move, I think it's going to continue. And I think we're seeing this consolidation right here happening again, like kind of right there. And then boom, we'll move up here into the $5.5, $6 range, maybe even break out to $6 as we get closer to the inauguration. I think people are going to, come back around and we'll get a little bit of a positive pump out of that. HISS is up 7% on the day. Bonk 6%. Side of Wolfpack is up 6.5% to 2038. By the way, it was at 202 a couple days ago. So it's up like 100%. CC we've already talked about. Pepe is up 5% to 17. DevvE is at $1.45. API 3 is down to $1.42. Not happy with the position of API 3 from a pump standpoint, but from the standpoint of opportunity to accumulate more, this is a great opportunity to accumulate more. When you look at this ultimately and you come back down here, what you're looking at is exactly what you would expect. You saw the nice little pump on the pre-sale. You saw the dump coming down as the unlocks started to happen. Then you got into this little range right here. Then you got this big spike up here in altcoin season. When it became altcoin season and started to really rip, that's what we saw. We're going to see that happen one more time. We're going to see it come from a bigger floor. The next move on this would be from an impulse from the bottom to the top. And if this is the top right here now, then we're talking about a move up into the $6 or $7 range before it even breaks out. And again, when it breaks out here, it was previously at launch like $11. So it will go to this $11 one more time on a breakout. So, it's only a matter of time, now before we start getting some real movement here from some of these different cryptos. Now, Gummy up 2% on the day. Rhythm is dead even on the day. Fiat down about 6% to 5.3 cents. But look, Fiat was 2 cents a couple days ago. Sato down 8% to 11.38. So that's your update right now. That's what's going on. And that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right. Thank you, and we'll see you again. 2024 was a massive year for Cryptonomy.finance, and 2025 expects to be even bigger. Folks, we're getting into the bull run right now, and to celebrate, Cryptonomy is having a New Year giveaway with a chance to start 2025 with something quite extraordinary. The prizes up for grabs at Cryptonomy are a Range Rover autobiography. 3 winners will receive 1 Bitcoin each. There'll be 30 iPhone 16 Pro Max winners and 100 winners of $100 in Pepe. And how you participate is this: open and hold active margin positions on Cryptonomy's trading platform, invest in the Launchpool during the eligibility period, and entries will close on January 11 at 11:59 p.m. UTC. The winners will be announced on January 12. So what does that look like? All right, I ain't no fool. So we're going 20,000 into the Launchpool contract. Now I'm going to use the bronze level. We've created the contract, so we are locked in. Also, the second thing that we had to do was set up a margin trading position. My position right now on my Bitcoin long is 148.5%. On Ethereum, 123.76. We're getting into the bull run right now. We're going to open up a long with 50 Solana. We're going to take that position right now. 148% is the expected profit. We're going to use a 10x leverage position, and we've confirmed. And now we have another position open, 50 Solana this time. Let's see how this goes. I think these are going to be incredible returns. Join me on this journey. Now look, we already know a lot about Cryptonomy and its strengths, and I'm excited to highlight them again. As someone who's worked with the company for a long time, I'm confident to say that 2025 is set to be a breakthrough year. With major updates and collaborations on the horizon, Cryptonomy is ready to soar to new heights. You can earn great passive returns on staking and other programs. You can gain exclusive bonuses, including Cryptonomy token airdrops at their launches in early 2025, and enjoy countless other perks that come with being part of this growing ecosystem. Now is the perfect time to get involved. Don't miss your chance to benefit from everything Cryptonomy has to offer and kickstart your journey with a winning opportunity.